Hey guys, it's Kim, and I guess long story short, just due to some personal matters and um, hobbying, I felt a little bit not too motivated. Um, I know I finished the Night Goblin BSB, and after that, I kind of was doing some freehand for some of the other shields, and I just kind of lost a lot of motivation past like couple days, I was talking to my really good friend Todd Wyatt, and I decided, maybe starting a new army might be the best course of action to try to get remotivated. And it's a little bit early, but I think this new project is gonna definitely get me back into the mood to honor Halloween and the spooky month of the year. I'm a big fan of horror movies and just in general the month of Halloween, October. It's my birthday month, and I just really maybe it's that time of year when the leaves are turning golden, the air is turning cold, and you can enjoy like a cup of hot chocolate. But I decided to show the new army, which will be not so original, but vampire counts. So throughout, I guess, cheating a little bit now, the end of September through October, I'll be building a slightly unique slash fun thematic vampire count army using primarily the, in my humble opinion, the best range of undead miniatures Citadel made. So what you see in front of you is just a small portion of what I have. Some of these models I stripped um, recently. So we're gonna start with my favorite model, and it is actually the original Heinrich, I think Kemler, the famous necromancer for Warhammer Fantasy, and I'm very fortunate to have been able to um, get this model, as I do know he does sell for quite a bit. I do have the original tab and everything. He was the main necromancer for the amazing campaign Terror of the Lich Master, and let me just see if I can focus. This model really does showcase, I think, all the best elements of the undead range that Citadel did. Very goofy, but for me personally, it's what I like. So we have this model, and I think for him, I don't know if I want to do a full painting tutorial or should I just do some parts. But if you'd like some painting tutorials specifically on the models, please let me know in the comments below. But I'll try to do a lot of them just because there'll be a lot of variety to do. So let the camera refocus. Sorry about that, guys. Another model I'm really happy is, oh, I just dropped him. It's from the old night horror range of models. So Games Workshop got the right, or I think we're preparing to create the Call of Cthulhu range of miniatures, but unfortunately they lost the rights to Grenadier. But they did produce a range of basically spooky looking creatures in preparation, and one of them is the headless ghost. And I think this is by far my favorite Citadel miniature for like a specter looking model they've ever produced. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. So you can see like he's holding the head, and just the way he looks is honestly amazing. I don't know what the previous owner used. He was in my paint stripper for over a week, and for the life of me, I cannot get these small specks of paint out anymore. So this is the um, best condition he'll be in. So really love this model, and I think he will definitely be a painting tutorial for sure. Then let's go straight to this model. So I am not quite sure. Let's see what the base tab says. Hunchback. Okay. So this is a Hunchback. I do know this was produced in the night horror range as well as the Headless Ghost. And I love the detail um, on this miniature in specific. Something about it. I don't know if it's the pose, if it's the rags, and you can see that giant lump of flesh behind, I don't know, he or her. But this model I've always wanted, and I think maybe a couple months ago I was very fortunate that while searching for eBay, I purchased this one, I believe under a D&D tag category. So sometimes you can find these models in very unexpected places. Then going to the advanced Dungeons and Dragon range of miniatures, we have a Lich. And I know that in Warhammer Fantasy, even though Heinrich Kemler is called the Lich Master, Liches kind of been replaced by like necromancers, but I do think the detail and the concept of like an undead lich is extremely cool. And this guy has a very goofy, classical hat on with his bone hands. So, and just a ton of detail on this miniature. Um, Now that I've zoomed in, actually, let me just go back to Mr. Heinrich Kemmler and show his classic model one more time. Again, a ton of detail on this guy as well. Then we have I believe, I want to call this a shade from the Advanced Dungeons and Dragon line of miniatures. May use this as one of the ghosts for my spirit host. Not entirely sure, but lovely model. Oh, a shadow. My bad, not a shade. Then a model I'm really excited. I painted a couple of them actually. This is a white from the Citadel Advanced Dungeons and Dragon line of miniatures. I'll probably be using this model as a Strigoi Ghoul King, as I just love this model, and like the concept of the original artwork for what a white was supposed to look like. I think I have one more on the way, but this is they used to make, I think, 8 different versions of the model with different heads. I like this one the most. So again, lovely detail. I know it's with my rose tinted glasses and nostalgia, but I know modern miniatures make these look terrible, but I just love the old school charm. Moving along, a model that I'm very excited to paint, and he will be getting a tutorial, is the Death Elemental. Now, this guy is huge. To give you an idea, I'd say Heinrich is a normal human-sized model. Yeah, this guy is tremendously big. Now, the Death Elemental hasn't, been, I think the new one and the artwork is like a double-headed shadow dragon thing in modern fantasy, but this was the original one in the late 80s. And it's basically the Grim Reaper. And I think he looks so menacing. I think I would play this as just a, I think a white, but like he'd be tremendously big. So I'd probably have to equip him more for combat, as he just looks so imposing. So I'm really happy to have gotten one of these. I think I paid a fairly decent price on this one. So beautiful model, and if you can get one for yourself, I highly encourage you to, because the detail is just, it's stunning on this model. Moving along, yeah, I have just so many of the undead guys. I have another Night Horror, which is just a Wraith. I'd use this as a Karn Wraith, pretty straightforward. Just love the simplicity of the model, with like the spooky, silently, um, you know, walking around pose with the scythe, and they didn't even sculpt the hand, so it looks like, the spirit is holding it. So lovely model from the Night Horror range as well. And I just put the models out just for the sake of it. I'm not sure if I'll use all of them yet, but this is a werebear from the Night Horror range. Very cute model. I don't know if I could, sneak him into like my ghoul pack or like a zombie pack, or make them like unit champions for my skeleton hordes, but we have this goofy little miniature. Then we have actually a werewolf from the Night Horror range. I was also tempted to use this as a Shigoi Ghoul King. I'm thinking now, Maybe I could kind of push it and make them count as like a crypt horror. I am not entirely sure. I'm just trying to maximize using these models in the undead army as, again, the theme of the army is supposed to be basically things that go bump in the night slash American folk, lore or just horror tropes you see. So the army will be very non-traditional, and you won't see like a terror geist or even zombie dragons. That's for a later video. This is another night horror. Just it's called Demon. I always thought it was an imp, but I do plan to use these miniatures, put them on a 40 mil, and use them as Vargeist. They will be a little bit small, but I like the original lore of what imps and gargoyles used to be. So I would be painting them red, green, and blue, as the original gargoyles of Warhammer Fantasy used to be colored like that. Then some of the original ghouls. So this ghoul came from the Night Horror range as well. And again, a lovely miniature. I think something about the old way they sculpted and the character, for me, it's unmatched. And again, this just comes from a place of nostalgia. So take my words with a grain of salt. I am realistic. I know modern sculpts are much better, but I just find so much joy in these miniatures. I can show you a couple more ghouls. This one comes from the, I believe, Advanced Dungeons and Dragon Citadel range of miniatures as well. So this pose is very goofy. Actually, it looks almost like he's dancing, but I like it. I have another one. This one's called the Gas. So I guess this would be like a champion ghoul, but I'd count him as a normal ghoul. Yeah. Let's move on to this guy here. He comes from the Warhammer Fantasy. What is it called? Warhammer Quest. One of the campaign books. He's like their own hunchback. So I have another hunchback. I guess I have two hunchbacks. I probably would use this one first, as this is a really old miniature, and I would call this more quote unquote modern, but still very old. Lovely miniature. I believe Todd uses one of these guys in his Carnival of Chaos army. Then my favorite models would be the original zombies. Um, I don't know if you guys are aware, but these models are very expensive. I'm very lucky. I managed to amass a decent amount of them over the past several months. And I think these models just represent, I guess, the best depiction of a zombie, even in my opinion, to the current GW equivalent. If you guys know the movie Return of the Living Dead, I believe 1987, um, it's like a comedy horror movie. I think these guys match the aesthetic where they have like, bone, decayed flesh, something about them. Whoever sculpted this range of miniatures, you could tell put their heart and soul and passion into them, because all of the sculpts just look fantastic. They remind me of all the George Romero zombies. So I do have, I believe, 20 more being stripped right now. So I just took the ones out that I had ready to go. And like this one here, probably be the unit champion potentially, but fully armored, face half decayed. So much character and so much detail. Oh, let me get this one too. So this one has like a skeleton face, armored, but flesh all falling, off his skin. So then for a unit, technically cheating, these are the wolves they used for the original Goblin Wolf Riders. I thought they'd be perfect for dire wolves in my army. So I have currently four of these models. I do have to hunt down, at least one more to make a unit. Probably just want to run a single unit of 6 and call it a day. As I'll go more detail about the list building aspect, but just trying to sort out the miniatures I have available at my disposal. This one's like a slime. He's just labeled slime from the Night Horror range. I probably won't be using this model in this army. If I need a couple more zombies, maybe I'll throw him in there. Um, but just a cool model. They fit the horror theme, so why not have it out? Then these two models will be quite interesting to have. These are the peasants, or this is a leper from, I believe, the Citadel Village range. And he looks suitably creepy. You can't see his head. He's having a little, head wrapping over. I probably would use this as another necromancer, but the problem comes into the fact that I have too many hero models, and I do have to start making a more formalized list. So this guy is just like a wounded peasant. I like his leg. He could pass for a zombie. Um, Not entirely sure yet, but just like having the model. So pretty nice. Then I have a blister of the Night Horrors Undead. So we got a giant hand, a Medusa armored, a harpy, one more slime beast, and a devil in there. So probably would use this as a unit filler, like my friend Todd suggested last night, and maybe use this as like a champion, or I'll figure everything out. But really happy to have this. And then for my core block, I have. Let's see if I can pull back my camera a bit. Pardon the shaky cam. So I have the Nightmare Legion Regiment of Renown unopened, and I do have three more of these zombies, skeletons, just stripping in simple green. So really excited to start building these guys, as I think I just love the character, and like this little skeleton champion. I forgot his name, but looks lovely. And then of course the standard bearer. So I think my favorite range of skeletons. I think the actual skeletons they have for this range of this era look great. Some of them are too bulky due to the armor. So I will be leaning to the Nightmare Legion. But yeah, I just wanted to share this update with you guys, as over the next, couple weeks you'll be seeing me create this army, and I'll make updates talking about my list building. This by no means will be a competitive army. Even though vampire counts currently in the old world are top tier, I'm going to lean more to this, you know, very classical, and just showcase all these beautiful sculpts throughout the history of GW. So yeah, that's the update. I'm feeling a bit more motivated, um, especially after getting everything out and about. But I hope you guys enjoyed the update, and looking forward to doing some painting guides, sharing with you guys the progress.